couple of years ago for my birthday, Mrs. Timbo said, "What would you like?" Well, that's easy. No, no more knives. Oh, all right then. I suppose definitely not. Right. Well, that time of year rolled round again recently. Toad on the Hill showed off his Seax, his Raven Forge Damascus Seax, and I thought, yeah, go on then. I'm having one of those. Legs still in a brace, and I'm on statutory sick pay, so yeah, not the easiest sell. And I think I might have got away with it. I'm not sure she knows quite how many knives I've got. So this is the blade, and it is, well, staggering, really. They are on offer at the moment. They're in the clearance range, so I would get one if you can. I think they're about 40 quid now. But it is just, it is gorgeous. Got the runes on both sides. Runes that, fair enough, say Raven Forge. Again, they do get some great Damascus, really pretty looking stuff. And this style of Seax is one that I have wanted for a long time. It's a very sort of stereotype Seax, and as we know, well, we may not know, broken back design. It's got this lovely long fuller in it. And again, I'm not certain how original that really is, but it makes a great looking blade, doesn't it? And I said it's a style of Seax. I've got a fair old collection of Seaxes, and it's a style of Seax that I've wanted for a while, and I just thought, oh, sod it, I'll cheer myself off with nothing else. Comes with quite a decent leather sheath, which again is left hand mounted. Perhaps Raven Forge's sheath makers are all left handed, who knows. Holds it in as traditional. What isn't traditional is the vast majority of Seax at the time were suspended that way, really. I've never got to the bottom quite why it was done like that, but it was. So anyway, this is a sort of it's a modern Seax, really, a modernised Seax, I suppose, but with a fantastic nod to history. Forgive me while I get my notes, because I've just put a gun on top of them. So there are two known Seaxes with sort of runes writing on them. The most famous being the Seax of Biagnoth. It's probably not how it's pronounced, but I've not actually been able to find a guide to actually how it is pronounced. It was found, it's a 10th century thing. It was found in the Thames in 1857, I believe. It's now in the, I think it's British Museum. And it had, really unusually, it had runic alphabet, the entire 26 runic alphabet letters on one side, and then Biagnoth on the other, hence the name. It's quite rare. The only other one that I'm aware of was found that you may have heard. Well, you know, the only one I've the only other one I've heard of that's been found with runes on it said Edric made me on one side. I think that's a fairly famous Seax in sort of Seax history. What I didn't realise though is Edric was sort of written on here. Then the word made was in Latin and misspelt, and then me, I think it was MEC, was in Old English, not runes. So runic Seaxes are unusual, but that's certainly not to detract from that, because I said it, that just gets absolutely gorgeous. It wasn't very sharp when it arrived. That was a surprise and a bit disappointing, because it's the first thing I've had really from Raven Forge that wasn't actually very, very sharp. And they have got a fantastic video that they had on to Instagram recently about actually one of their guys getting an axe sharpened up so far that he could slice paper with it. So this has been sharpened up a bit, and it only took about 10 minutes or so. But yeah, so that's definitely sharp enough. It's still not well enough at the moment to go out and do any kind of swinging things. Particularly in light of the fact that for about the third day running, it's about 30 degrees outside, and there's high humidity and no breeze, and I'm frankly suffering in here a lot. Handle is really nice. I can't remember whether, I think it's rosewood. I should have looked it up, but I can't. Feels really nice to hold. To be honest, even if a little bit dainty and small for my hands, but it fits the width of my hand, and I haven't actually had the opportunity or ability to go outside and do any cutting and chopping. I have no doubt it will do very, very well at that, and I will do one when I can, which hopefully won't be very long. I will be able to go out and start chopping some stuff up. There is a little rust spot on there. That is entirely my fault for anybody who's noticed it. I had this a little while ago and it was sort of quite oiled, and I cleaned the oil off, and I didn't think about putting another coat of oil on it because these do need to be kept oiled, and that's why that's that rust. I'm cleaning it off as we speak. Well, not as we speak, but I will be cleaning it off when we're finished. So yeah, really nice blade, Damascus all the way across until it's obviously polished for the ground down for the handle. 2 pins hold the handle, and that's right. I think that's going to that wood'll come up quite nice as well. But it's to be honest, it's fine as it is. So for 40 quid, you get an unusual looking, yeah, an unusual Seax. It is gorgeous. Very, very nice knife. Very, very pleased to have this. Very pleased indeed. And yeah, that was thanks to Toad on the Hill. And if you don't subscribe to his channel, please do, because he's great. Nice Seax. Not too huge and heavy. And most of them weren't that big. If you have a look in a lot of museums, you can see some, you know, Seaxes. The blades are about that long. They were more sort of, I suppose, kind of Swiss Army knife Seax almost, if that makes any sense. Yeah, nice knife. Nicely balanced. Let's try and get that. Yeah. But I said this handle is just really nicely designed. It's well designed. It's quite lively for what's a fair old chunk of a blade to it. The whole thing is about, what is it, 12 inches long? Just over 12 inches long, with what, nearly 7.5 inch blade. Yeah, it's a decent hunk of metal. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how well that does with various cutting tests. So again, another Raven Forge thing that I like very, very much.